Hey Stitchers, your girl Kris here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel on social where it's totally cool to obsess with sewing. So you guys, this is my first official video of 2025. I know you have seen other videos on the channel for the year, but I did do a little bit of pre-recording before the new year hit, and thank goodness I did because you guys, I have been down with the worst flu of my life. I swear it. I mean, I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but I have not had a flu this terrible for a long, long time. Now, I'm still not feeling 100%, but I felt well enough to get up and to record this video. And I'm just really, really eager to talk to you guys for 2025. Now, the first thing I want to chat about today is my first year as a YouTuber. Now, on January 3rd, 2024, I posted my very first long form video here on the channel. So that means I have officially been a YouTuber for a year. All right, a little bit over a year, but you get the point. And my first year as a YouTuber has been an interesting one. No, I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. I sort of just hit the ground running with the channel and tried lots of different things throughout 2024. There were lots of different types of videos. Some of them did better than others. That is to be expected. And I'm still trying to work out exactly the type of content that you guys are most enjoying from me. I think for 2025, I'm just going to keep on providing you with some variety, and I can get a better idea of what sticks and what misses here on the channel. Now, in my first year as a YouTuber, I have hit almost 2,000 subscribers. I think at the time of recording, I am about 25 or so subscribers short of the 2K mark, and I feel super, super proud of myself. Now, I know some people start their YouTube channels and within a couple of weeks or a couple of months, they experience extreme growth, I tell you. I have seen people hit 4K marks in the last year. I have seen people hit more than that. But for me, I am just ecstatic that so many of you have decided to tune in to my content. I am just a small island girl sharing with you guys my love for sewing. So thank you so, so much. I really, really, really appreciate your support. If you have been here from day one, thank you, thank you, thank you for being an original OG. If you have joined the channel later on, or if this is the very first time that you're seeing this video and you are thinking about hitting that subscribe button, then I do appreciate your support and I look forward to having you here with me on the channel for 2025. Now, if you want to start a YouTube channel, my advice to you is just go for it. Don't measure your success by other people's successes. As I just said, some people experience extreme growth. Others, like myself, have to take our time and sort of build our audience, and that's okay too. Just give it your best shot and your tribe is going to find you. Now, for 2024, I did not really set any sewing goals and intentions except for the Make 9 challenge. Now, I did do quite well on my 2024 Make 9 challenge. I did share a recap here on the channel recently. You can find the video right here. I managed to complete 8 out of 9 of my Make 9 squares for 2024. Now, for 2025, I still have not completely decided on the Make 9 challenge. And that is because I'm already participating in 2 challenges. One of the challenges, you might have seen me speaking about it already. It's called Fabric Roulette, and that is my challenge. You can find all the information right here. Now, that challenge is interesting, and I'm sensing that it has sparked a little bit of a controversy, and that is because somebody else actually has a similar challenge. Now, when I thought of that challenge, when I started discussing it with my husband and with my friend Diana from 26 by Diana, I had no clue that a challenge of this nature had been done before. When I posted it on my Instagram stories sharing the idea I had, one of my followers there actually pointed out that someone else had a similar challenge. Now, initially to her message, I kind of felt a little bit deflated. And I almost didn't embark on the challenge. I was like, oh, it's been done already. Let's not do it. And I slept on it overnight, and I woke up the following day to lots of Instagram messages encouraging me to go ahead and to get on with my challenge. There is room at this table for everybody. Everybody has different audiences, and it was completely fine for me to do my own take on this challenge. And so I did. And I will be really, really excited if you considered joining in on that challenge. It's called Fabric Roulette. And the short form is you should pull some fabrics from your stash. I chose to pull 12 because my aim is to share with you guys one fabric every month here on the channel. You can choose to pull more or less fabrics depending on your lifestyle and your sewing circumstances. Now, a couple people did reach out saying they didn't think they can manage 12 fabrics for the year. And my answer to that was do 4 fabrics. That's one every quarter. You don't have to be in it every month. As long as you're playing along, I'm completely fine with how many fabric choices you choose to add to your wheel. Now, the second challenge that I'm doing is hosted by my girl Diana of 26 by Diana, and it's called So Lucky Jar 2025. Now, I also have a full video here on the channel describing what that video is about right here. And you'll also see my very first pull from that jar in this video right here. So be sure to go ahead and check out my very first pull from the jar for So Lucky Jar 2025. Now, the long and short of that challenge is to add some patterns to a jar. You can add as many or as little as you want, and to pull from that jar whenever it suits you. Again, I have chosen to do one pattern at least every month. Now, I have put 24 patterns in my jar, and that is because even though the aim is to do one per month, I know there are going to be times throughout the year when I feel a little bit more motivated to sew and probably want to sew up an additional pattern from my jar. Or maybe I'm going to run into a loss of my sojo and need some motivation to get me in the mood to sew. And that is why I have an additional 12 patterns in my jar. Again, you can choose as many or as little as you like. So be sure to head on over to Instagram, find my girl Diana at 26 by Diana, and give her a follow as well. Her challenge is absolutely amazing. Now, so far as the Make 9 challenge is concerned, I feel like if I do it this year, I want to focus not on categories as I did last year, but on some sewing techniques or some sewing goals. I'm not quite sure just yet. Once I make up my mind, I'll come right back here on the channel and share with you guys what I might want to do for Make 9 2025. No, I did say I did not set any intentional sewing goals for 2024, and I do have some sewing goals I want to set for myself for 2025. Just a couple sewing goals, and I'm hoping that I can rewatch this video as necessary so I can hold myself accountable throughout the year of 2025. Now, the first sewing goal that I am setting for myself is actually to sew less. I know, like, why? Now, sewing is my outlet, you guys. It is a form of therapy for me. And clearly last year, your girl needed tons of therapy because I sewed up a whopping 72 items. And I shared all 72 items here with you on the channel in a 2-part series. So you can check out part 1 right here first. And once you finish checking out part 1, then you might want to go ahead and check out this one, which is part 2. Now, this year, I know I'm going to be sewing a lot as well because it's just my getaway from the ins and outs of everyday life. It allows me to utilize my brain cells for something other than worrying. I am a worrier by nature. I think I got it from my mom. And when I'm sewing, I don't have time to worry. It means I'm concentrating on what's before me. I'm digging into my passion and enjoying the process. But what I mean by I want to sew less this year is I want to slow down a little bit more and truly, truly enjoy the process. Every single stitch, every single tracing, every single fit adjustment, even every single mistake, you guys. I just want to slow down and embrace it all this year. And I'm hoping that means instead of sewing up 72 garments, maybe I'll sew up a little bit less. Additionally, I feel like I open my closet and there are tons of clothes in it, and I still often feel like I have nothing to wear. And that clearly means I'm not sewing to fill my wardrobe gaps. I've just been sewing just because I love to sew. And so this year I want to be a little bit more intentional to streamline my wardrobe a little bit more. And I'm hoping to really think about my projects a little bit more in terms of the style lines, in terms of my fabric choices before I just dive into my projects. Now that is going to be a little bit difficult given that I'm going to be sewing from my jar and I'm going to be sewing from my fabric roulette wheel. Those two projects alone are going to take up at least 24 of my makes for 2025. And if I complete the additional 12 patterns from my jar, that will already be 36 makes for 2025 if I am completely successful. Now, I know I'm going to be sewing things outside of these challenges because you know me already. I tend to get distracted quite easily. There are going to be new patterns on the scene, and I might want to indulge in one or two, but that is one of the other goals that I want to set myself for 2025, and it is to slow down on my pattern buying. I feel like I have so many patterns already. You guys have seen a lot of my patterns spilled out on my floor when I was trying to pick for the So Lucky Jar Challenge. What you did not see was the tons and tons of PDF patterns I already have in my stash. Now, this goal was motivated as well by the fact that Simplicity no longer feels that I am a suitable clientele for their patterns. They have recently, well, not recently, because this happened in December, announced that they will no longer be supplying their patterns on simplicity.com to international customers. Now, whereas they did provide an alternative, I kind of feel like, why should I have to go through hoops just to support a pattern company? And so that one has given me a little bit of a pause. In addition to that, the website that they directed us to is a lot more expensive, and the exchange rate as well also plays a part. And so I'm definitely not going to be buying any Simplicity patterns this year. If I end up with any Simplicity patterns this year, it's going to be because they were gifted to me by somebody else. I am not going out of my way this year to buy Simplicity patterns at all. I am going to use the ones that I have because I have already invested in them and I do like their patterns. And I have become quite familiar with a lot of their pattern blocks, and it means it takes me a little less time to work on my fit adjustments and that sort of thing. But I'm just not I'm just not going to do it, you guys. I'm not going to head on over to So Direct and pay more money just to keep current in the Simplicity pattern game. So this year I am going to slow down drastically on my pattern buying. The third goal I have for 2025 is to finish at least two projects from my UFO pile. I am looking at it from where I'm sitting down, and there are at least half a dozen, if not more, pieces in my UFO pile. I don't know, you guys. I'm not very good with UFOs. I start a lot of projects. I tend to work on a lot of projects at the same time. I'm not very good at completing a project and then starting a new one. I usually have a couple projects ongoing at any given point, each project at varying degrees of completion. Some of them have just been traced, some of them are being adjusted, some of them I have started sewing up. None of them have been batch cut. I cannot batch cut because the likelihood is by the time I actually get around to sewing up a project, I no longer want to stop the project. But once I start it, it is a little bit more likely that I'll finish it. But clearly, still not bulletproof because I do have unfinished objects. Some of them I'm pretty sure are already too small for me. Most of them had been started, I want to say, in around 2019 or 2020. but I just haven't completed them. Just a sec. I need some water, you guys. Right. So as I was saying, um, I am going to set myself the goal to complete two of them. And I know two seems like a very minimalist number, but I don't like going back to my unfinished object pile. I much prefer to start an entirely new project featuring the very same pattern than picking up one from the pile that needs to be finished. So, two for me is a very big number in this respective, but I'm going to go ahead and challenge myself to get two of those objects from off my box and into my closet. Now, those are the three main sewing goals I wanted to set myself this year. There are a couple other little things I want to incorporate into my sewing, working on some more professional finishing on the inside of my garments. A lot of the times I do just use my serger. Occasionally I will do French seams depending on the fabric substrate. I think I want to incorporate the French seams a little bit more into my finishing, maybe try out some more Hong Kong binding. I did that quite frequently when I started sewing, and it's just amazing. Now that I'm more proficient in sewing, I'm also becoming a little bit more lazy, I think. Like when I first started sewing, I was all in, you guys. I was doing Hong Kong seam finishes, I was making muslins for everything. I still do make fit adjustments. I just have skipped the muslin stage. Like I make the adjustments based on the pattern measurements. Like I measure my pattern measurements, measure my body, compare the two, make my fit adjustments, pray to God Almighty, and then dive right into my fabric. Whereas back in the day, your girl was making muslins for everything. And I don't know, maybe it's just comfort. No, I don't know. But I just really think it's probably just lazy. Notwithstanding, this year I do want to incorporate a little bit more of those finer finishing details into my garments. I also want to play around with a little bit more lace and some like piping details, some lace trim details, and that sort of thing. I have not really played around a lot with piping. I've done it once or twice, and with like using appliques and lace trims and that sort of thing. And I want to embark on a little bit more of that this year. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to embark on this year, and it's embroidery, you guys. I have an embroidery module for my machine, and I have used it like a handful of times. And before I had it, I was really, really excited about getting it. And once I got it, I tried it out a couple of times, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if I ran out of steam, or I think my trial was up on the software, and I was like, I ain't dropping them coins on this software right now. And maybe that's why I haven't given embroidery more of a go, but I want to give it more of a fair chance in 2025. I already have the module. I probably do need to pick up some more like embroidery threads and that like stabilizer thing, and to play around more with my hoops and the settings. But I really do want to utilize that technology more in my sewing for 2025. Now, those are the four goals that I really want to. I think it's four. Is it four, you guys? Forgive me if I've got my numbering wrong. I still am quite congested, and I'm going to use it as my excuse. So I think it's four, but those are the sewing goals that I want to set myself for 2025. Now, before I bid you farewell, there's one last thing I want to do, and it is to pull from my cookie tin. Now, if you tuned into my Vlogmas series, I encouraged you in the very first episode to continue to watch my Vlogmas episodes throughout the entire month of December and to go on a fact hunting mission. I told you that I will be sharing 5 facts about my island scattered throughout the Vlogmas series, and once you spotted a fact, you were to run on over to my Instagram account, send me a DM letting me know what the fact is. Now, 10 of you were able to find all 5 facts and to follow up by sending me the DMs over on Instagram. Now, even if you did not play along in the fact finding or the fact hunt mission and you watched any of my Vlogmas series at all, then thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I did not get the views that I anticipated. I don't know if I anticipated, you guys, because it was my first Vlogmas. And I figured that content would be saturated in December. And as a small YouTuber, it would probably be a little bit more difficult for my videos to keep up with the larger accounts. But my views were very, very low for Vlogmas. Notwithstanding that, you guys, I was able to have some amazing conversation with the sewing community. And that was because of the questions from my cookie tin. So my takeaway from Vlogmas for 2024 was definitely not to do it for the views or for the subscriptions, because I definitely did not benefit a lot from either, but to do it for the community building aspect. That part I definitely did benefit from quite a bit in my Vlogmas series. And again, thank you guys so much for following along with Vlogmas 2024. Now, as a reward, one of the 10 people who are able to find all 5 facts is going to be rewarded US $30 or its equivalent to a fabric store or any store for that matter of your choice. Perhaps even I might just consider just sending the 30 US dollars or the equivalent via PayPal, and the recipient can buy whatever he or she wishes. I think that might be easier, but once I pull the name and I have a conversation with the winner over on Instagram, then we can decide together the best way for me to present this prize. So let me just go ahead and have a sip more water, grab my cookie tin, and then we can choose a winner. Right, you guys, so this cookie tin is no stranger to my Vlogmas audience. I was pulling questions every day from this tin, giving you guys my answers, and then encouraging you to leave your comments down in the description box. Now, even though I was sharing lots of lifestyle stuff during Vlogmas, all of the questions in my cookie tin were sewing related. So it's not too late if you missed the Vlogmas to go ahead back and catch up. Obviously, you'll see a little bit of Christmas stuff, but you'll also see some of my everyday life with my family, my friends, outing, a little bit of work, and you can answer the questions from my cookie tin. Every day there was a different sewing related question, but today I've gone ahead and replaced the questions from my cookie tin with the names of the 10 people who are up for the grand prize draw. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it a good shake. Pop the lid. You can see there are 10 pieces of paper on the inside, and I'm just going to give it another swirl, and I am going to choose, oops, this is 2 in 1. So let's choose this one. So the winner of my Vlogmas $30 US prize goes to Simply Attire. Can you see that, you guys? Oh, I guess the lighting is messing with it. But please send me a message over on Instagram so that we can discuss how you can pick up your $30 US prize. Now, thank you guys so much for tuning in to my Vlogmas series. Thank you guys so much for following along with my YouTube account for 2024, for every comment, for every like, for every share, for helping to build my audience. I am truly grateful to have you guys in my space, and I look forward to even deeper connections for 2025. Now, if there are any particular types of video you would like me to share with you here on the channel for this year, be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know, so that as I am planning out my year, and no, I'm not a very good planner, but I'm making an attempt this year. As I'm planning out some content for the year, I would like to incorporate a little bit more of what you guys want to see. Obviously, there'll be some of what I want to show you because I'm rebellious like that. But I do want to take your suggestions on board as well, and to continue to build a really close-knit community here on YouTube. So thank you for your support for 2024, and I look forward to your continued support for 2025. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, I'm almost at my 2K subscriber goal. So if you have a friend who you think might be interested in my videos, be sure to go ahead and share my videos with them and help me to grow my YouTube family into an even bigger family where we can really obsess with sewing together. Now that is all I needed to share with you guys for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you have gotten this far and you're not yet a subscriber, please consider subscribing on your way out. And I'll see you here again soon in a couple of days for my next video. Until then, you guys, stay calm, stay cool, stay safe, and absolutely keep sewing. Peace.